Sometimes I think about myself. I wish I was somewhere else, far from my fear, anxiety, far from my weakness. I could be gone, but I'm just afraid. I refuse to fix the problem, and I think I can carry on. You can lie, you can...
Well, I made me feel alright, but I nearly drowned from hospitality.
Okay, so this is the start of a new vlog, and I am super excited to start this vlog off with some really fun book mail. So first off, I ended up getting a new adult romance in the mail. Not yesterday, like a couple days ago. And that is An Academic Affair by Jodi McAllister. And this book came out this week, and I'm so excited to get to it as soon as possible. As you guys know, I've been in a bit of a reading slump for the past like month and a half. So it's been really hard for me to pick up a new book, but I will say that I'm currently reading 2 books that I think are dragging me out of my book slump for real this time. So I am really enjoying those 2 books anyway. I do want to get to this one as soon as possible because it seems like a book that I will really enjoy. It's like academic rivals to lovers, which I really am into. And the back, it says, Sadie Shaw and Jonah Fisher have been academic rivals since they first crossed paths as undergraduates in the literature department 15 years ago. In the cutthroat world of academia, opportunities are scarce and competition is ruthless. Now postdocs, thrust into professional uncertainty, they both do anything to find some stability. So when a highly coveted teaching position comes up, their rivalry hits epic proportions. Jonah needs the job to move closer to his recently divorced sister and her children, while Sadie needs the financial security and freedom of a full-time teaching position. Once Sadie notices that the university offers partner hire, however, she hatches a plot to get them both the job. All they need to do is get legally married. It's a simple win-win solution. But when sparks begin to fly, it becomes clear that despite their education, these two may not have thought this whole thing through. So this sounds really interesting. I cannot wait to read it. So thank you so much to Atria for sending it my way. And I love having a finished copy of this book and love the cover. It's really cool. Love that. I love the colors, honestly. It's like a really pretty blue, so love that. And the next book mail came in this really cute box. This is what it looks like. And this says new from Mieko Kawakami, which I believe I read one of her books earlier this year. And this is from Penguin Random House. So where did I put my scissors? I don't remember. Oh, here they are. Okay, so we're opening up the box, and I did save it for you guys, so I have not opened it. I don't know what's in here. It says, we've still got decades to live, but how are we gonna survive? And there's some black tissue paper. Ooh, so cute. Okay, so here's the book. Ooh, okay. Here's the book, and that is Sisters in Yellow by Mieko Kawakami, and it's gorgeous. I am absolutely in love with this cover. Look at how beautiful. Oh, love it. And this book goes on sale March 17th next year. And on the back it says, from Mieko Kawakami, the award-winning author behind Breasts and Eggs and Heaven, which I believe I read Heaven. Was it Heaven that I read this year? That was really good. I think I gave it about 4 out of 5 stars. Comes a wrenching, bold, and beautiful novel of sacrifice, self-discovery, and the tumultuous bonds of sisterhood. In Sisters in Yellow, a cast of 4 women bruised by life but thrown together by fate fight for independence amid the financial downturn of 1990s Tokyo. Navigating soul-crushing poverty, dubious lenders, organized criminals, and plain bad luck, they come together for an opportunity to remake their lives in an otherwise desperate world by opening a bar, lovingly named Lemon. Set at a high-speed pace in Kawakami's distinctively sanguine, poetic style, Sisters in Yellow is the major next step for a rising international literary star. So I am so excited to read this book. It's translated by Laurel Taylor and Hitomi Yoshio, and I am just so excited to get into this book. It sounds so interesting, and something that I would be really, really intrigued to read, especially like towards the beginning of next year. I think I love to read like literary fiction at the start of a year for some reason. It just like really sets the year on a good note, and so I definitely will get to this very, very soon. And on this little card that it came with, it has the recipe for a lemon drop shot, which I love a lemon drop, so good. And if you want to know, the ingredients are 1 ounce of vodka, a 1/2 ounce of fresh lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, granulated sugar for rimming and garnish, and 1 lemon wedge for garnish. I love a lemon drop, so this is right up my alley. It's one of my favorite drinks to order, not just as a shot, but like as like an actual drink that you would get in a real glass. And then there's this little thing that's wrapped up. I think it might be a shot glass. That's what I'm thinking that it is. So let's see. They really wrapped it up good. Ooh, how cute. Little shot glass. That's adorable. I will definitely get use out of this. We have so many shot glasses and we use literally all of them. So this will be nice to add to the collection. And yeah, that's everything that's in the box. So that's so cute. Cannot wait to make a lemon drop martini and read this book. It'll be so much fun. And thank you to Knopf and Penguin Random House for sending me this box and this book and all of the cute little goodies. So yeah, that's all the book mail that I've gotten recently. And so now I should probably talk about the book that I'm currently reading, and that is Open Book by Jessica Simpson. And like you guys know, I've been in a book slump. I feel like everybody is sick of hearing me talk about my slump. It's bad and it's been going on for too long. And so I decided to pick up a celebrity memoir, which I'm so happy that I did. I've had this book on my shelf for like, I think the past 4 or 5 years, honestly. It's just been on my shelf chilling, waiting for me to pick it up, and I finally decided that now was the right time. And I'm currently, let's see, I'm currently on chapter 7, and that's page 123. So we're making pretty good progress. I feel like I'm reading about like 25-ish pages every day. So we'll get through it at some point, but so far so good. And I think I'll definitely read more of it today. I think I read a little bit over 25 pages today. I think I read more like 35, maybe 40 pages. So yeah, pretty good pace so far, and I am really, really enjoying it. It's very intriguing, and it really goes from like literally the beginning of her life and all throughout her childhood, all throughout her teenage years, and I'm finally at the point of like her getting a record deal and setting up the beginning of her career. So super excited. I've heard really great things about this memoir, and so far it's living up to all of my expectations. And I also did kind of already listen to the entire series that my favorite podcast, You're Wrong About, did for this book like a couple of years ago. I think it was during like 2020, 2021, where they would do these series that were kind of like book reports almost. Like they would do a couple of episodes for a specific memoir or nonfiction book or whatever, and they would just go through it and talk about it. And so I did technically already listen to the series for this book, but honestly it really intrigued me enough to pick up the book, and I'm so glad I did. And I'm actually kind of glad that I gave it a little bit of time, because I kind of forgot a lot of the stuff that they talked about in the podcast, but I'm actually kind of like debating whether I should go and listen to like the first episode just to like have the podcast where I can follow along with the podcast as I read the book. So I don't know, we'll see what I end up doing, but so far I'm really enjoying this book. And then I'm also currently reading an audiobook that I got from Libro FM, all thanks to their influencer program where they give you like a certain amount of ALCs every month. And so I got this a couple of months ago, and or was it a couple months ago? It was a couple of years ago, I can't remember at this point. But I got The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, and I am currently 48% of the way through this book, and I'm loving it so much. Though I do think it's kind of funny that I wanted to read One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig and I still haven't gotten to it. Instead, I'm picking up her other book, like her other series. So I think that's funny. I tend to do that. Like I'll have a certain book from an author that I really want to pick up, and then I will just pick up a different book of theirs. Like it's so weird to me that I do this, but I do, and it's strange. But I am really loving this so far. It's fantasy, it's adult, and I really have struggled with fantasy this year for some reason. I just feel like fantasy is not what it used to be. Like I used to love reading fantasy books, and lately in the past few years I feel like every time I pick up a fantasy book it's just so mid. It's so basic, it's so like cookie cutter. It's like too info dumpy or too over explainy. It doesn't like trust the audience enough. And so it's really refreshing to pick up a fantasy book where you are getting to learn about the world and the magic and stuff like that, and like all the beliefs and everything that goes into a fantasy novel. Like you're getting to learn about it as the novel progresses, instead of getting these huge info dumps like towards the beginning, to the point where like you forget things by the end. Like you need to go back and like, oh, I totally forgot this rule or this like belief system or whatever, because they dumped it all in the beginning, and so then by the end you're like confused. And lately I just like have not been impressed by anything published in the last like 3-4 years, and I don't know who to blame. I don't know why fantasy changed so drastically, but it did. And it's kind of unfortunate because I still love reading fantasy books. Like that was like my top favorite genre, if not like my second favorite, but I think it was usually my favorite because I read a lot of fantasy back in the day. But anyway, I am really enjoying this book. Highly recommend picking it up. I don't know which books are out currently in this series, so I'm gonna have to look it up really quick. Okay, so this first book was published May 20th of 2025, so yeah, we're definitely not gonna get a book anytime soon, which is kind of a bummer, but that just means that I'm gonna have to pick up One Dark Window right after this book, so that's good to know. Also, this one is up for a Goodreads Choice Award, which is kind of nice. It'll be nice to have actually read a fantasy book that's like up for a Goodreads Choice Award. But yeah, so far so good. And it also seems like a lot of my friends on Goodreads have really enjoyed this book as well, and it has a pretty high rating. It's 4.29 right now, which is really good. So yeah, highly recommend it. It's just as good as everybody's saying it is. Definitely lives up to the hype. And yeah, I feel like that's all of my updates for now. We are about to experience a bit of a storm where I live, so it's going to be raining for a little bit. It hasn't started quite yet. It said it was supposed to start at around 2, but it's currently 3:26 and it hasn't started raining, so we're going to see. We're gonna wait it out. It says rain stopping briefly, which I mean, I haven't really seen it rain at all, so I don't know. But yeah, like I'll put it up on the screen, like what the forecast looks like for the next 10 days. And it's like rain, sunny, rain, sunny. It's like there's gonna be a lot of rain in the next week, so that'll be really exciting. We haven't had rain in a while, and it'll be nice to have some precipitation in the air and on the ground. Also, at the beginning of this vlog, I think that I showed that I went to this like cute little fair, and my family ended up getting tickets to do this sort of like beer tasting. And so they had a bunch of local beers set up in like tents, and you could go around, you had your own little glass, and they could pour you little tasters of beer or whatever that they were providing. And it was really good, really fun. I definitely got a really good buzz. It was fun. I had a good time. So I think I showed that at the beginning of this vlog, and it was so much fun. Perfect, like warm fall day. It was absolutely fantastic. And I had some really good beer, honestly. Like, I have really started to become a beer drinker. It took me a while. Like, I'm 30, so I've been drinking for 9 years, and I just started to enjoy beer. And yes, I do really mean 9 years, because I did have my first alcoholic drink the day that I turned 21. So I actually didn't even know if I was going to drink on my 21st birthday, and I kind of decided that day that I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. It's fine. It's this is what we're doing. So yeah, I feel like that's everything I have to update you guys on. I'm super excited about the books I'm currently reading. I'm excited to bring you guys along in this like cozy, rainy vlog. It'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, I feel like that's everything. So I'm gonna go and hang out and probably read some more of my book. I don't know if I'm gonna do my physical book or my audiobook, but we shall see.
You can try, but you'd like to leave this feeling. We've got to breathe, to dig, to leave the life we are dreaming. It could go wrong, but I'm just a nest. You must be lonely, but you could be crazy if you keep.
Okay, so today is Friday and it is currently 11:08 and I am going to go for a walk. I just got ready, just put on a long sleeve black shirt and my black leggings and my Heim I Quit hat. And it's been raining since last night, but all today it hasn't rained yet. And it's not supposed to rain again until like around 8 o'clock. So I figured I would take advantage of the clear weather and go for a little bit of a walk. Also because I have been on Threads for the past like half hour and truly the takes on there are so terrible that I feel like I have to go outside. Like I feel like I have to go walk it out because the people on Threads, specifically within the bookish community, are truly so arrogant and so like they think they know everything. They think that they're so intelligent and so smart and always have the correct takes, but really it's just their cop mentality coming out, and it's disturbing. Like it's truly disturbing. You would think that people who like read a bunch of books every year and read for a living or even write for a living, you would think that they would be better at critical thought and reading comprehension, but if you go on Threads, you will see some of the truly dumbest takes that you would have the misfortune of reading, and it's bad. It's truly so bad. They really don't want to hear anything to the contrary of what they have perceived as the truth, and there's only one truth. There's only one truth, and that's the only thing that they can ever accept. They do not want to hear any other perspectives. They don't care about what you think about something or what someone else thinks about something. If you're not agreeing with them, if you aren't agreeing to the groupthink, you're done. You're evil, you're burned at the stake, you're dogpiled, you're terrible, you're a bad person. It's so strange. It's so toxic. I say like the book community, and I think it is kind of like a wider scope of the book community's issue, but I see it so specifically and so regularly from the romance community in particular that there needs to be some sort of accountability. There needs to be some sort of like having the romance community as a whole look in the mirror and be like, why are we so toxic? Why are we so obsessed with groupthink and so obsessed with like there's one true way to think about romance, there's one true way to read romance, and anything that even diverts slightly from that one truth is evil. Like they need to rethink that. It truly makes the romance community look so stupid, and I urge them to rethink the way that they have set up this community, because it's bad, it's toxic, it's terrible. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna go for a walk and clear my mind and maybe listen to a little bit of a podcast and just get myself re-regulated in my body. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. It's 11:12 and I'm gonna go head out the door. I have to put my shoes on first and then we will head right out and go for a walk.
You must be lonely, but you could be crazy if you keep looking down. Don't you cry no more, no more. Tears is in mine.
Okay, so today is Saturday and it is currently 1:25 in the afternoon, and I'm drinking an iced coffee that I got from a local coffee shop. And I actually just got this new cup from Walmart, so I'm using it now and I think it's so cute. I really love it. It's like a dome lid cup. It's glass. I think the top though is plastic. I'm not quite sure. I can't tell. Is that glass? That might be glass. But I really love it. I think it's so cute. And like I needed a cup with a lid on it, so liked this one, thought it was adorable. And yeah, I just got ready. I did my hair, I took a shower, I did my makeup, and before all of that I went on a walk with my brother, like a 1.5 mile walk, and obviously got the coffee. But yeah, I figured I would just get ready for the day and put on some real clothes, actually do my makeup and do my hair, because honestly this entire week I have not done any of that. So we have just been kind of like living in loungewear and workout gear, so it's just been kind of like a semi-lazy week, honestly. So yeah, now it's the weekend and time to kind of like do things and watch some football also, so I'm going to be doing that. I do have to talk about some of the books that I'm currently reading, and one of the first ones is actually a physical book that I don't have in my hands because it's actually over in the front room because I was reading it this morning, and that is the Jessica Simpson memoir, which I can't remember what it's called. I'll have to put a picture of it up here, but it's by Jessica Simpson, and I am a little over halfway through at this point, and I am really enjoying it. I think it's so much fun to read, and it's genuinely giving me something to look forward to every day. I think I definitely want to pick up another memoir after this one, and I'm thinking maybe Crying in H Mart, which I have had on my shelves for literally the longest time as well, and have not picked it up yet, so definitely need to get on that. That one's by Michelle Zauner from Japanese Breakfast, so need to read that as soon as possible, and I'm thinking it might be fun to have another like memoir to read. So yeah, really enjoying the Jessica Simpson one though. I think it's really fun, and as a 95 baby, I grew up listening to a lot of like those pop girlies and that like late 90s early 2000s era, like Jessica Simpson, Britney Spears, Mandy Moore, Christina Aguilera, all those people, and then like all the like the little girl groups and the boy groups and whatever. That was like my childhood. And also this is like deep lore, but when I was in 2nd grade I was doing like Spanish dancing and stuff like that. And I decided for my school's talent show I would do like a Spanish dance inspired routine and I did it to I'm Gonna Love You Forever by Jessica Simpson, which insane pick for a 2nd grader. I don't know what I was thinking, and I don't know why the adults let me do that, but if you know that song you know why that's like an insane pull. But yeah, and I was supposed to do it with one of my friends, and then she backed out like literally last second. She was like, I don't want to do it, I'm too scared. And I was like, we were supposed to do it together, and so I ended up having to do it all on my own. And if you could imagine a 2nd grade Alex like getting up on stage and doing a little dance to I'm Gonna Love You Forever by Jessica Simpson, that's something that I actually had to live. So yeah, I've always been a Jessica Simpson fan ever since I was a little girl, so obviously really had to read this book. Oh wait, I think the title is Open Book. Okay. I was like, I know the title is going to come to me at some point. It's Open Book. But yeah, it's very intriguing. She had a really interesting life, and a lot of tough things happened throughout, especially her like earlier childhood. So if you're going to pick this up, I would say content warnings for childhood sexual assault, content warnings for alcoholism, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There is some like death of a family member, so definitely keep those things in mind if you're wanting to go into this book. Those are topics that are going to be talked about pretty in depth, so yeah, just as a heads up. But she did have a really interesting career, so it's been very intriguing to read, especially since like I was a kid when all this stuff was happening, so I didn't really have any like perception or like grasp on what was going on with all these pop girlies. So it's kind of interesting to kind of look back now as an adult and be like, wow, this all really happened. So yeah, really enjoying that book. And then I also picked up an audiobook because I did finish another book, which I don't think I talked about. I ended up finishing the book The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, which I think I did talk about starting that book earlier in this vlog. And I actually own another Rachel Gillig book, which is over here, One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. And this is actually one of the books that I wanted to pick up and then ended up not picking up. I picked up her other series, which actually just came out this year. And there's actually been some kind of like discourse on Threads. Like, I try to keep out of any discourse on Threads. I don't comment on it. I don't even really like interact with any of the posts, mainly because I feel like I'm just so sick and tired of the way that like book threads, the bookish internet sphere interacts with the discourse that it generates. Like, I can't do it anymore. And honestly, a lot of it just seems like blown out of proportion. But one of the discourse things that I saw recently was like, you shouldn't put off a book series just because only the first book is out. Like, you shouldn't put it off until all of the books are out, which I think makes a good point, because like, you want to support the author and show that there is desire for this series, and not like have publishers think like, oh, nobody wants to read this, so we're not going to publish the rest of the series, which has happened before. And so I think that it's a good point. I think people dragged it out a little bit more, and like, I think people were obviously dogpiling, as they typically do, which is a whole other topic, which I have kind of addressed previously in other videos. But I think that there is a good point to be made. And actually what I figured out, or what I like, kind of like the hack that I'm going to be doing from now on, which I am so surprised I've never thought of this before. I'm sure other people have thought of it, but I am just like, it never crossed my mind. But what I did after finishing The Night and the Moth, I ended up like taking all of my thoughts on the book and like kind of just like summarizing the whole thing in my notes app. So like, I have this note, as you can see, I have just like a screenshot of the audiobook just so I can remember what it is. And it says The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, recap of the ending. And I just literally recapped the ending. So it's all there for me to like look back on and remember everybody's name, remember what everybody was doing, everybody's relationships and stuff like that. And it's such a genius idea that I don't know why I never thought of it. I've never seen anybody else do this. I'm sure that other people do and they just don't talk about it, but this is a hack. This is like a true hack, and it seems so simple and so easy. Why is everybody not doing this? Like, this is so like, duh. Everybody's always talking about like, oh, I really wish that there was like a place where you could get like summaries and whatever. And I think there are websites and apps or whatever that do that, but it is kind of nice to have it in your own words and have it in a way that you're going to remember it and you're going to be able to understand, instead of like, sometimes those recap websites or whatever can be a little wordy. And so I wanted a way to be able to be like, I'm just going to recap this very quickly and very succinctly, and I'm going to understand what I'm talking about. So yeah, ended up doing that, and I really enjoyed this book, gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I'll talk about it more in my wrap up, which is honestly, at this point, it's the 22nd. It's gonna come really soon. So yeah, super excited about that. I do definitely want to read One Dark Window, but I don't know when that's going to happen, because I'm currently reading another audiobook, which I almost forgot about. And that is The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center, which I have seen this book literally everywhere. Every time I go to like Walmart or like any bookstore, I see this book like front and center. So I have been wanting to read this book so bad. And I checked out a lot of books on Hoopla recently, just like books that I'm kind of interested in. This is the one I decided to start with, and I don't remember how far into it I am. Let me see. Okay, so I'm 25% of the way through this book, and that's honestly pretty good. I think I started it like 2 days ago. So yeah, really enjoying it. Definitely am intrigued to see where it goes. So yeah, those are the books that I'm currently reading at the moment. And I also got some cool book mail, so I want to get into that really quickly. And the first book that I got was Unbound by Peyton Corinne, which I got from Atria. So thank you to Atria for gifting me this book. It's very thick, I will say. It's a thick romance book. And on the back it says, Paloma Blake is at best antagonistic, but beneath the hairspray attitude and promiscuity is a scared girl whose trauma runs deep. Still, the walls she's built are strong, ensuring everyone only sees Paloma's sexy facade. Everyone except for Bennett. Bennett Rayner, the Waterfell Wolves' carefully controlled neurodivergent goalie, has his routines and sticks to them, which helps him keep a hold of his OCD compulsions and the crippling anxiety that comes with them. The quiet and meticulous Bennett sees everything, especially the girl underneath Paloma's ever-present masks, and he always has. Alternating between this past and present, Unbound contrasts the tentative tension and passionate beginnings of first love with the devastating loneliness and deep yearning of having that love ripped away from you without truly knowing why, in this new angsty, sexy, emotional, lyrical novel from the author of Unsteady and Unloved. I'm super excited about this, and I love neurodivergent representation of every different type of flavor. And I think I have read a book with OCD representation before. I can't remember which book it was. I'm trying to think. I think it might be... Ooh, I'm not sure. I'll have to put it on the screen if I can remember it. Is it really good, actually? Something like that. But yeah, I'm super excited to read this book, and it comes out April 7th, 2026. So mark it on your calendars. And then I also got from Doubleday, Girls Play Dead, Acts of Self-Preservation by Jen Percy, which sounds really interesting as well. On the inside cover, a quote from Publishers Weekly says, a groundbreaking exploration of women's often shamed and silenced responses to sexual assault, extensive, empathetic, a vital record of a little discussed aspect of women's lived reality. So yeah, super excited to read this book, and I think it's going to be really intriguing, and I love to have some like nonfiction books on my shelves just in case I ever want to pick them up. So thank you to Doubleday for sending me this book as well. And yeah, I feel like that's everything that I have to talk about with you guys today. I am going to go and watch the rest of the football game and chill out, drink the rest of my coffee, enjoy the day. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Okay, so I just got done editing my video, and I'm actually currently cleaning my room. I'm washing my sheets right now. So I just got done editing my video and realized I never finished this vlog. So I'm finishing it now, and right here, right now. Also this piece of hair is like really bothering me, so give me a second. Okay, so we're ending this vlog here. And I should probably just give a quick little update and say that I did end up finishing Open Book by Jessica Simpson. Really enjoyed it. I also DNF'd the rom-commers. That one was just not very good, and maybe I'll talk about it a little bit in my wrap-up, but I really did not like that book. And then I actually am currently reading another book, but we will talk about that in my other vlog. So yeah, it is December 2nd, and we are starting off a new month, the last month of 2025, and I'm very excited. And also, I'm not doing Vlogmas this year. I have really struggled to do it every year. I think I've only finished it once, and it's just not worth it to me in this moment of my life. So maybe next year we'll see how it goes. But yeah, definitely have a few videos planned for this month, so I'm super excited to make them. The only reason that I didn't really post a lot at the end of November was because it was obviously Thanksgiving, but also we did end up going to see my grandpa, who has been really struggling with a lot of health issues this year, so it was very important to me to see him. And I'm glad that I did, even though I didn't get to post any videos at the end of the month. It's okay. Obviously, like I've said before, family will always come first. So yeah, just kind of wanted to give you guys that explanation. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and hopefully there will be many more before the end of the year. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!